Let's turn to overseas news now. Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto has cancelled a planned trip to China later this week as anti-government protests in the country gain momentum. Demonstrators clashed with police and 3 government workers have died in the latest unrest after protesters torched a council building.
Well, the rallies began on Monday over generous allowances paid to members of parliament, but they've now become anti-police demonstrations after police drove an armoured car into crowds on Thursday, killing a rideshare motorcycle driver. Indonesia correspondent Tim Swanston has more from Jakarta.
Well, tensions are certainly growing here on the streets of Jakarta. Those pops that you can hear are the return fire of protesters. They're firing fireworks at riot police, who in turn are firing tear gas back at them. What started as protests against the government earlier this week have really morphed into an anti-police movement here on the streets of Jakarta. Right across Indonesia, people are graffitiing ACAB, all sorts of anti-police sentiments, and you can really hear that this clash between protesters and police right now is picking up. This movement, there's a lot of energy behind it as many Indonesians, especially young Indonesians, let out what they feel is simmering anger and simmering tensions about the state of the economy, what they see as perceived inequality between, say, the entitlements that members of parliament receive and how they live, the cost of living that they experience every day and the poverty that many Indonesians experience. Here is what some of those protesters had to tell me just a little bit earlier.
This month, governments increased the price of rice and rose our taxes to increase the income of members of parliament.
I feel hopeless for this country, actually. We are all on the street right now to voice our concern to those people in power.
Now, this violence is spreading out right across the country. In South Sulawesi, at least 3 people were killed in a government building there after it was set on fire by protesters. Much of this anger towards police has been directed just a few days after police drove an armoured vehicle towards protesters on Thursday, and that killed a delivery rider. We saw very significant outpouring of grief for that delivery driver just in the last few days. A funeral, a procession of delivery bikes here in Jakarta. But you can clearly tell there's a lot of white-hot rage and anger that's built up over a long time here. This isn't going away anytime soon, despite President Prabowo Subianto calling for calm in recent days.